One of the preeminent events here in the Tennessee Valley area coming up here in early October, and it is Wine Over Water. And Amanda Carmichael is joining us here to talk about that. Amanda, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Wine Over Water, how many years now? This has been going on for a long time.
Right. This is our 24th year.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
So.
And Jess says it's her one of her favorite
Yes,
activities because
it
not
is.
only does it involve wine, it's got food.
Food and music, live music, and yeah, food and wine on the beautiful bridge on a fall evening. It's a perfect night, really.
And it's, I mean, not only are you enjoying some of your favorite things in the world, but you're benefiting a good cause as well with Cornerstones.
That's right. Let's talk about Cornerstones for a minute, and this is where the proceeds for Wine Over Water go.
Right.
Tell us about the Cornerstones mission.
So Cornerstones is Chattanooga's historic preservation organization, and Cornerstones is really who's responsible for helping save a lot of the historic buildings that make Chattanooga really unique. So when you look out at Chattanooga, you see a really interesting architectural landscape, and we just try to preserve all the older buildings in town.
Can you give us an example of some of the buildings that Cornerstones has helped preserve or in many cases save over the years?
Absolutely. So the Walnut Street Bridge, for one, was one of the very first projects of Cornerstones. And then we've got off the bridge events that we are doing this year, and they are actually, a lot of the old buildings are now restaurants. So where Easy Bistro and Bar is, and St. John's, those are a couple of examples. And then of course, just recently this year, the Chattanooga Choo Choo has been donated to Cornerstones. So that dome part of the Choo Choo is now where Cornerstone's office is, and we are going to go through a renovation and restoration process for that right now.
Oh,
Wow.
fun. That'd be exciting to see.
Yeah, it certainly will. All right, let's talk about the scope of the wine itself, then we'll get on to the food here in a moment. Literally, there's wines from all over the world.
There are wines from all over the world, and there are a lot of them. So we've got a really great mix of even some local Tennessee wines, but we've had people and the suppliers actually, from Australia and lots of different places come. So there are a couple 250 or so wines on the bridge during Wine Over Water.
I always know what I like, but I always come away from this event finding
Sure.
something new as well. That's what I think I love about it is, even for someone that already kind of knows what they like, they still find something.
Right, there's always something new to
Yeah,
discover.
that's one of the beautiful things in the program that you'll get once you purchase your tickets, or rather once you get them there at the gate. There's usually a few pages in the back for making notes on tried this, didn't care for that, tried this,
Take your
really
ink
liked
pen.
it.
Yes.
Absolutely. And this is going to again benefit Cornerstones, Chattanooga's Preservation Society, and there are untold buildings around town that have benefited from this over the years. And this year you're doing something a little bit different. That's all the food and all the wine. It's all together for
It's
one
all,
price.
yes. So
that's awesome.
everything's inclusive in this year's ticket. So you don't have to worry about having that cash and paying each of the individual restaurants.
Right.
So we're just trying to streamline it, make it a little bit easier, and do it that way. So yeah, and then we've got all the other extra events off the bridge
I
as
love
well.
that, which I want to talk about some of those. You're starting to incorporate, we have a Beer and Bites event, so bringing in a little bit different dynamic that normally would not participate. Talk about those
Right.
events.
So Wine Over Water is expanding to a multi-day food and wine festival. So we really want to, of course, our signature and the main event is going to be the bridge event, but there are so many great spaces to get inside and really see. As for Cornerstone's mission to get people into these historic buildings, and then to just expand. So yeah, we've got beer and whiskey and like cocktail lunches, wine dinners, yoga brunches,
Brunch, I know. I was like,
There you
I saw the
go.
word brunch. That's all I need.
Yeah.
Would like a good brunch.
and Sunday supper, and we're going to kick it all off on Thursday. So it's going to go Thursday through Sunday. So there's really going to be something for everybody. It's a lot of fun. And yeah, it just gives more people some opportunities to get out and enjoy the city.
Some of the restaurants you want to mention by name specifically
Yeah,
that are going to
so,
be taking place.
So the kickoff party is going to be at Easy Bistro, and that's on Thursday. We're going to be on MLK in like the Two Sons parking lot on Friday for the beer event. Bestsellers is going to be at the Westin this year.
Oh, fun.
Lunch Botanical is at Solarium Cafe in the Dwell Hotel. We've got St. John's doing a wine dinner on Saturday night. The yoga brunch is going to be at Feed, and that's that one's going to be really fun too. We're partnering with Green Spaces on this one, and we have Revive, which is the IV hydration studio that's going to be there to give IV transfusions there in
Right.
case you need a little bit of pick-me-up.
Notice
the
this is
day
the morning after
Wine
the
Over
event.
Water.
Just kidding.
And there'll be champagne from like Veuve Clicquot, and then the Sunday supper is going to wrap it all up on
Perfect.
Sunday night.
How do we get tickets?
Wineoverwater.org.
And they usually sell out, so go ahead and get them now.
Yes.
And they usually sell out well in advance. So
Yes.
if you're planning on going, make sure and get yours as soon as possible. Again, the website, wineoverwater.org. That is wineoverwater.org.
For the record, this is Tennessee's bye week also for football.
Oh yeah, we plan around that.
They planned around that.
Bye week,
quite
so you're not
certain.
going to miss the game.
Stick around. We've got more of Let's Chat coming up next.